Hi everybody. The first part of this episode will focus on the design process for creating the Add to Cart page. If you often work with e-commerce products, you probably know that every detail is important when creating such interfaces. The goal of any merchant is sales. We will now analyze a case of ordering balloons where we added a little gamification. After conducting a focus group survey, users said it looked funny and added even more balloons to their cart than they actually needed. So let's get started. I will start by creating the structure of the future page. First, I am creating an artboard for the desktop version of the site and adding a logo. At the top, I need to outline the menu items, products, about, profile, and cart. On the left side, I will outline a block for other related products. A large block with the main product that we switch to will be here in the center. I'm adding additional information about the product in the quantity block. Now I will draw the slider for selecting the number of balls. It will be animated later. Below, I am making the Add to Cart button. I will also add information about the cost of delivery and the final price. The product image will be the full height of the artboard, so I need to separate the menu items to make them readable. To do this, I am adding a background in the form of rounded rectangles. Now I will change the title to the category name Balloons and add a chevron so I can select a different category. The list can be sorted by popular or by date. It's time to replace the lorem ipsum text with real text. I am now thinking about additional things like, for example, the top seller tag. The rest of the details can be finalized on the user interface. Now I will need to select the font. In this layout, I use the font Cuberto. I will also polish the indents and work with the typography. I am using emojis for the top seller icons. Emojis can be taken from an Apple font, but they will be poor quality. So I go to emojipedia.org and select the appropriate emoji. In the center of the layout, I will place a product image prepared in good quality on a transparent background. I will replace the color of the rectangles with yellow to match the color of the logo. I want to make the cart more visible, so instead of the usual cart name, I will make a noticeable block indicating the number of goods. And the profile icon next to it is essential here instead of the usual inscription. I am also drawing an icon for the delivery section. Under the Add to Cart button, I am adding the product details block. This is secondary information and it will be displayed as you scroll down. I continue to tweak the elements, fonts, and padding. In the block on the left, I try on temporary previews for the list of products. I will now go to the slider and make it an active state. Drawing a balloon icon. It will display the number of balloons that the user wants to add to the cart. updating card thumbnails for the second and third products. The design is done. Duplicating the artboard and removing the price slider. The top artboard will be used as the reference layer and the bottom will be used in animation. Outputting those two artboards to PNG and importing them into After Effects. Creating a composition from desktop 1 PNG, and then adding desktop 2 PNG to this composition. I need to group the layers of the balloon icon and rename it. Selecting the slider layers along with the price and quantity and exporting to After Effects using the AEUX plugin. As usual, the plugin does not work very accurately, and therefore I do manual alignment of the imported layers to the reference image. This is especially noticeable on the slider itself. The balloon icon needs to be associated with the number that is displayed inside it. I will make a parent link for the text layer to the balloon group. Create position keyframes for balloon and control. I shift to the right. Add more keyframes to pause, and now move the layers to the left. Add keyframes to pause again. At the end, I copy the keyframes from the beginning and paste at the end. I select all the keyframes and holding down the Alt button, compress them according to the timeline. I use the Motion plugin to make the movement of the ball smoother and not linear. The result is a sketch of the animation. The slider moves to the right, then to the left, and then returns to its place. Finalizing timings. Now I can start making the slider animation. Now I want to achieve the effect of magnetizing the ball while moving the slider. To do this, add the rotation parameter by pressing Shift-R. I'm adding 2 standard keyframes and adding another one between them with a tilted ball. Now I will set up the timings so that it feels like the ball is tied to the slider. I'm moving all keyframes of the ball position 1 to 2 frames forward. Done. Now I will do the same in other places. increasing animation time slightly by stretching all keyframes. Initially, if we don't touch the slider, then the ball is not displayed. Therefore, I need to make the appearance and disappearance of the balloon icon. First, I'll work on the slider itself at the time of the animation. I will move all keyframes 1 second forward. Adding the control layer keyframes, roundness, stroke width. Also changing the parameters of the keyframes to get a circle with a thinner stroke. Moving the keyframes back to see what happens. Now I will do the same at the end, but in reverse. I am making the balloon icon appear. Adding keyframe scale by pressing Shift-S on the selected layer. And same for the keyframes positions. Setting the scale value from 0 to 100%. Position should move from bottom to top, so I'll move the first frame down. Dragging the control layer to the very top so that the ball does not obscure it. Finally, I am adding the disappearance of the balloon. Everything is the same, but vice versa. Let's see what happened. We still need the text with the number of required balls and the price changes following the movement of the slider. Selecting the layer with 30. I'm applying the slider effect. Creating a parent link from source text to slider. Creating a keyframe holding Alt. As you can see, an expression has been created, which I will correct later. I am adding slider keyframes in the same places where the ball stops and changing the values of the quantity. I will slightly increase the frame of the number to accommodate 2-digit rule. And now I will add easing. It works, but a dot appears after the number inside the ball, as fractional numbers are shown. I will adjust expressions to display only integers. To do this, I'll use the mathRound function. copying keyframes from this layer to transfer to the rest of the text layers. With the layer selected, I press Ctrl V or Command V for Mac. Also, I need to copy and paste expressions from the previous layer. I do the same for the price layer. The price for balloons is displayed in dollars, and you need to modify the expression by adding a dollar symbol. I notice an error. Slider values do not change everywhere. Everything is ready and can be sent to the developers. Initially, we made this effect for the mobile interface and published the source code on our GitHub. The link is in the description. But later, we have used it in one of the web interfaces, where it was successfully applied. In general, these things give the interface individuality. They do not slow down the actions of users, but on the contrary, induce them to perform a certain action. But every control must be in place. Thank you all for your attention, and we'll see you next time.